Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I move the motion relating to the Australian National Audit Office in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper. Scrutiny of government spending to get maximum value for every dollar is more important now than ever, given Australia's budget deficit is now at a record high and government spending has blown out under this mob to the highest percentage of GDP since 1970, which is as far back as you can go in the budget papers. So while this motion might sound nerdy and niche, it really matters. Sticking up for the Auditor-General should not be controversial, and the motion simply reaffirms the importance of the Auditor-General and calls on the government to reverse its budget cuts and stop taking revenge on the Audit Office for doing their job well. The Auditor-General is a critical part of the Commonwealth's integrity architecture. It turns the blowtorch on government expenditure and performance. And it's made even more important by the government's complete failure to introduce a National Integrity Commission. Indeed, the Audit Office is one of the few independent watchdogs with real teeth to scrutinise government performance. Now, it'll never be always comfortable for any government, but most audits are uncontroversial. Every now and again, a scandal emerges, but generally that's not common. Except under this Liberal government, they're rife with graft, sports rorts, hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer funds funneled to Liberal Party marginal seats in a dodgy process in the Minister's office. Airport land rorts, they paid $30 million for land worth $3 million. Liberal mates running riot in ASIC, racking up bills and personal expenses, billions of dollars wasted on consultant mates. Taxpayers rely on the Auditor-General to uncover waste and misuse of public money. But to do his job, the Auditor-General must be properly funded. The ANAO's budget has been in structural deficit for years because of this government's cuts, budget after budget. He's been recording unsustainable losses the last 2 years of 3.1 and 4.8 million. So the Auditor-General wrote to the Prime Minister requesting $6.3 million in new funding in his budget just so he could keep doing his job. Disgracefully, instead of giving the Auditor-General the funding he needs, the Prime Minister took more revenge and made more cuts to the ANAO, getting his own back for sports rorts. A $1.28 million cut to revenue, a reduction in overall resources of $14 million, and another cut to staffing. It's the oldest trick in the book of governments worldwide who want to shut down scrutiny, is to starve the integrity agencies of funds. And the Prime Minister's got the result that he wanted. The number of performance audits will now fall well below the long-standing bipartisan target, which has been there under successive governments, of about 48 per year, to around 38, a 20% cut. Now, the Prime Minister's in question time. He's tried to spin the issue. He said, oh, well, it's not really a deliberate plan, as resourcing will be considered in the 10-year review by the JCPAA. That is ridiculous and it's misleading. It's a 10-year review of the Auditor-General's legislation, not of his budget. That's the government's responsibility. Only the Prime Minister and the government can give the Audit Office more money. That's in the Constitution. The committee can't give him more money, only the government can. But make no mistake, this is just the latest attack on the ANAO. Since the Liberals were elected over 7 years ago, the Auditor-General's budget, as of this year, has been cut by 18.3% in real terms. And shockingly, this latest nasty little budget bakes in more cuts. 4 years from now, the ANAO's budget will have been cut by 22.1% in real terms since the marketing department over there was elected to government. They're not my figures, that's the Parliamentary Library's analysis. But it's not a matter of money. They're racking up $1 trillion of Liberal debt, but pretend they can't find $6.7 million for the Audit Office. That is a false economy, if ever there was one. This is a sustained attack on democracy, trying to avoid scrutiny and accountability for the Liberals' own rorts and waste and pork barrelling and graft. I call on the government to immediately reverse its cuts to the Auditor-General's budget. Now, this should not be a partisan issue, and if the government fails to restore funding to the ANAO before the next election, then I believe the opposition, of which I'm a member, must commit to do so, because integrity matters. And I also call out, I see the chair, I get on well with the chair, but I really call out the Liberal government members of the JCPAA for not standing up. Where are they in public? Where have they been out there defending the Auditor-General, doing their job as an audit committee, sticking up for the Independent Audit Office? It's not good enough. Now, given the Prime Minister's proven that he can't be trusted to protect the Auditor-General, it's time that the Parliament took the ANAO off him, took it out of his portfolio. We should legislate to establish the Audit Office as a parliamentary department, cementing the Auditor-General as a truly independent officer of the Parliament, just like the Parliamentary Budget Officer or the Clerk. And frankly, I'd trust the Speaker and the President of the Senate any day to stick up for the Auditor-General more than this Prime Minister.
Is the motion